Hello, dear students of the 6th elementary grade, and welcome to a new episode of our program. It's time for science, and on this episode, we'll be carrying on with our explanation of lesson 1, unit 3, oxygen gas, with our teacher of science, Mr. Nader Nassim. Hello, Mr. Nader, and welcome to the program.
Hello, thank you. Hello.
So, Mr. Nader, we didn't finish this lesson yet last time. So, could you please, start where we stopped, and then we can have a general review on the whole unit.
Okay. At first, I must thank you for this good presentation.
Thank you very much.
Okay, at first we have studied Unit 3, which about atmosphere, and we know that atmosphere contains 3 lessons about the 3 gases or the 3 main gases in the atmosphere, which are oxygen gas, carbon dioxide gas, and nitrogen gas. And in order بقى بالترتيب هنقول oxygen gas اللي درسنا منه جزء the last episode الحلقة اللي فاتت، وهنكمل إن شاء الله النهاردة the rest of the lesson about oxygen gas and nitrogen gas and carbon dioxide gas. Okay, so we have 3 lessons in this unit, Mr. Yasser. Okay, we have started our first lesson of this unit about oxygen gas, and we have started that the percentage of oxygen gas is 21%. You know that?
Yeah.
You remember? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Remember, and nitrogen.
Nitrogen is the main component of the air, and it has the largest percentage, which is 78%, or 4/5 or 4/5 of the air volume. Okay, and carbon dioxide has the shortest or has the least percentage, which is 0.03% of the air volume. Okay, so also we have studied how to prepare oxygen gas. We prepared the oxygen gas in the lab by decomposition تحلل أو تفكك of hydrogen peroxide or oxygen water. عملنا تحلل أو تفكك لمادة اسمها hydrogen peroxide أو مية الأكسجين in Arabic عشان تديني oxygen and water. And also we can collect oxygen by downward displacement of water. So now let's see a short video about how to prepare oxygen gas in the lab. Okay, Mr. Yasser. هنشوف short video عن ازاي نحضر oxygen gas in the lab. نبدأ مع بعض. We know that this is a flask that contains hydrogen peroxide. This is a flask and has a funnel. Funnel contains hydrogen peroxide. Also in the flask at the bottom, I have a very important material which is called catalyst. Catalyst, which means here manganese dioxide powder. Okay, we can see here the bubbles of oxygen gas move from the tube to the other tube inverted in the trough with water, and we know that oxygen scarcely dissolves in water. الأكسجين نادرا ما بيدوب في الماء، مش بيحب الماء خالص. So we can collect oxygen by downward displacement of water. So now we have oxygen gas in this tube. We have oxygen gas in the tube in the hand of this man. Again, we can see the video again to know how to prepare oxygen gas in the lab. إذا حضر الأكسجين gas in the lab. I have hydrogen peroxide, which means oxygen water أو مية الأكسجين. This material or this solution can decompose into 2 substances, which are oxygen and water. Oxygen can come here to the inverted flask الأنبوبة المقلوبة ديت اللي ممتلئة بالمية and replace water or pushes water downward. So we can say that we can collect oxygen by downward displacement of water. Okay, so up to now we have studied the preparation of oxygen gas. Okay, Mr. Yasser?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's start our lesson about how to prepare oxygen or the properties of oxygen. Okay,
yeah, how to prepare oxygen.
Okay, we have prepared oxygen in the last episode. خلصناه خلاص الحمد لله التحضير، وعرفنا ان بنحضره من raw material which is hydrogen peroxide or oxygen water, and this substance decomposes in the presence of manganese dioxide powder into water and oxygen. And now we will start the rest of the lesson about properties of oxygen. أو خواص الأكسجين. Okay, first property of oxygen is that oxygen is colorless, odorless, tasteless. Okay, oxygen is colorless, odorless, tasteless. عديم اللون، عديم الطعم، عديم الرائحة. Okay, again oxygen is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. Okay, now we can say that oxygen scarcely dissolves in water. الأكسجين نادرا ما بيدوب في المية. So that we can collect oxygen by downward displacement of water. Again, oxygen scarcely dissolves in water, so that we can collect oxygen by downward displacement of water. ودي معلومة مهمة جدا أو خاصية مهمة جدا في الأكسجين جاس، إن هو مش بيدوب في المية إلا بشكل قليل جدا أو بشكل نادر جدا. Okay? Oxygen scarcely dissolves in water. Another property about oxygen, oxygen has a neutral effect on litmus paper. We know that we have a type of paper which is called litmus paper. في ورق في المعمل اسمه litmus paper، ده ورق خاص
هو عباد الشمس.
بالظبط كده، ورق عباد الشمس مصبوغ بصبغه معينه، داي معينه فيها ريد وفيها بلو. بستخدمه عشان اكشف عن بعض الماتيريالز اللي هي اسيدز او الكالايز. لكن الاكسجين هنا بيقول لي تاثيره نيوترال، متعادل، ولا بيحاول الريد ولا بيحاول البلو. So we can see that again oxygen has a neutral effect on litmus paper, red and blue. And now I have an image, very important image for the effect of oxygen gas on red and blue. Red doesn't change and the blue also doesn't change. يبقى الأكسجين ما بيغيرش ولا الريد ولا البلو litmus paper. Okay? Again, oxygen doesn't affect on litmus paper or post litmus paper red and blue. Okay? Another property of oxygen, oxygen is heavier than air as it replaces the air. Again, oxygen is heavier than air. أتقل من الهواء. So it replaces the air، بيحل محل الهواء. Another property, oxygen doesn't burn but it helps in burning. Oxygen doesn't burn. أعتقد دي أهم property في الأكسجين وعارفينها من primary 4. We have studied before. Oxygen doesn't burn but it helps in burning. الأكسجين ما بيشتعلش لكن بيساعد في الاشتعال. So now let's see a short video about the effect of oxygen gas, in burning, okay? Now let's see the video about the effect of oxygen gas in burning. Okay? Now we will prepare oxygen gas in a simple way. هنحضره هنا بطريقة أبسط شوية مستر ياسر. Okay? We know that we can prepare oxygen from a material which is called hydrogen peroxide. Okay? What happens when we prepare oxygen and put some cleansing wire? You know the cleansing wire?
Yeah.
سلك التنظيف الأواني المنزلية. Okay? And burn it in the presence of oxygen. ونحرقه في وجود الأكسجين. What happened? I think the burning will be faster. Okay? So now we can prepare oxygen from hydrogen peroxide material that decomposes into oxygen and water. Okay? These are the bubbles of the gas. Look here, Mr. Yasser. What happened to the burning? It burns faster.
Yeah.
Okay? It burns faster. Why? Because oxygen, as we know, increase burning or helps in burning, but it doesn't burn. لكن هو نفسه ما بيشتعلش. Okay? Okay, look here. What happened when we light a matchstick like this and put it off and put it again in the presence of oxygen? What happened? It will relight again.
Yeah.
Okay? It will relight again. Why? Because oxygen gas help in burning. As we know. So now we have a very important property of oxygen, that oxygen gas doesn't burn but it helps in burning. Oxygen gas doesn't burn but it helps in burning. Okay? Okay, now let's return back to our lesson about the properties of oxygen gas and how to prepare oxygen and everything about oxygen gas. As we know that oxygen gas doesn't burn and but it helps in burning, so that we can see in our short video that oxygen gas help in burning and the burning increase in this video. Okay?
Yeah.
Another property of oxygen, oxygen is heavier than air. أتقل من الهواء. So it replaces the air. Oxygen is heavier than air, so it replaces the air.
And what is the air?
What, sorry?
What is the air?
The air? The air is a mixture of gases, as you know that. So oxygen is like the tea. You know the tea? Okay? If you put some tea in water, in very hot water, what happened to this tea or these granules of tea? It will come down.
Yeah.
So oxygen here is heavier than air, so it comes down in the atmosphere. Okay, it's a mixture of with atmosphere, but it comes down with the atmosphere. Okay, so now let's start a new topic about oxygen, which is combination with oxygen. الاتحاد مع الأكسجين. We know that combination means الاتحاد with oxygen has two types or two processes, two methods. في طريقتين للاتحاد مع الأكسجين, which are oxidation and burning. Oxidation الأكسدة, burning الاحتراق أو الاشتعال زي ما شفنا من شوية في الشورت فيديو. Okay, so now we can see that oxygen can combine directly or unite directly with most elements to form oxides in two ways. Again, oxygen can combine or unite directly with most elements to form oxides in two ways. الأكسجين بيتحد مباشرة مع معظم العناصر أو عناصر كتيرة جدا بطريقتين. الطريقة الأولانية هنسميها oxidation، الطريقة الثانية هنسميها burning or combustion. Again, oxidation أو الأكسدة، burning or combustion. What is the difference between the two methods? I think that iron rust is an example of oxidation. Iron rust أو صدأ الحديد is an example of oxidation. So we can say that oxidation is a slow combination between oxygen and element. هو اتحاد بطيء زي ما احنا عارفين عشان يحصل صدى في الحديد بياخد فترة كبيرة جدا ممكن شهور أو سنين. So we can say that oxidation is a slow combination between oxygen and element in the presence of moisture or water. Again, oxidation is a slow combination between oxygen and element in the presence of moisture or water. That's about oxidation. أو هو ده الاتحاد الأولاني مع الأكسجين، هو اتحاد بطيء في وجود الأكسجين في وجود كمان الرطوبة عشان يكون حاجة اسمها rust أو الصدى. So what about the burning? What about the burning or combustion? We know that burning is a fast combination, rapid combination, اتحاد سريع. So the difference between both of them is that burning is rapid, الاحتراق اتحاد سريع، لكن oxidation اتحاد بطيء. Again, burning is a rapid combination, but oxidation is a slow combination. Again, burning or combustion is a rapid combination or union between oxygen and element that produces heat and light. We know that burning أو الاحتراق أو combustion هو اتحاد سريع مع الأكسجين وبينتج ضوء وحرارة. We know that burning produces heat and light. Okay? يبقى لازم نفرق كويس قوي بين burning و oxidation. إن ال burning fast or rapid combination, but oxidation is a slow combination. اتحاد بطيء. Okay? So now we know that burning a piece of cleansing wire, as we have seen in the short video, is an example of burning. Burning a piece of wire or cleansing wire is an example of combustion. And we know that this is a fast or rapid combination with oxygen. اتحاد سريع جدا مع الأكسجين.
The word combustion means burning.
Combustion means burning, and this is a fast combination. هو اتحاد سريع جدا ما بياخدش متهيألي ثواني أو دقايق. But oxidation is a slow combination. اتحاد بطيء ممكن ياخد أيام أو شهور أو سنين. Okay? So we have two types or two ways to form or to combine with oxygen, which are oxidation, the slow combination, and burning or combustion, the fast or the rapid combination.
And that's how rust starts to form
on the iron. Yeah. Okay, so now let's start a new topic about what you have said, Mr. Yasser, the problems of iron rusting. Okay, imagine that, Mr. Yasser, I want to ask you a very simple question. Iron rusting is a useful or useless process? Useful?
I think
it's harmful.
It's harmful.
Yeah. Why? Because it's make erosion in the iron way. تعمل تآكل في أجسام الحديد أو في الحديد and damage the iron ware. Okay.
And I guess if you have something that gets rusted, you try to get rid of it.
Yeah, try to, or try
because
to.
It may have also other effects on us.
Yeah.
Other harmful effects, like when you touch it, for example.
Okay. Okay.
I think these are, let us say, what poisons.
Poisons, sure. Okay, I want to ask you a very simple question again. What happened, or what can we do to remove rust or to prevent rust from happening?
You keep
the iron
away from the elements.
Yeah.
Right. From nature.
Yeah.
Not to be exposed to nature.
But how come my car is exposed to air, to oxygen? العربية كلها متعرضة للأكسجين.
Cars are are
painted.
Are painted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can say that we can prevent rusting or prevent iron oxidation by painting.
But sometimes, even though you paint something, it gets rusted.
Okay, we paint it more and more.
Yeah.
Repaint it again. Okay.
So when something gets rusted, you just paint it, and that's it.
Yeah. Just remove the rust layer. لازم أشيل أول طبقة الرust and paint it again. Okay.
But isn't this a matter very harmful to us?
Yeah, sure, it's very harmful to us. Okay, but if we touch the rusted iron, we mustn't, or we must wash our hands immediately.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We
so
must.
if you touch anything that is rusted, you have to
wash our hands.
Your hands very well.
Okay, but in this lesson we talk about how to remove rust or how to prevent rust from happening or from
happening in the first place.
Yeah, in the first place, first stage. Or prevent rust or remove rust from iron. So we can prevent rust by painting the iron or by removing the iron rust layer, which is called iron oxide. يعني طبقة حديد اللي بتصدي بنسميها iron oxide.
Sometimes also the paint might get eroded.
Yeah, the paint might, so we can repaint it again. لازم ندهنها تاني أو نرشها دوكو تاني. Okay, so we must paint the ironware and isolate it, نعزلها from oxygen or from combination with oxygen to prevent rust. يبقى oxidation أو الصدى معناه اتحاد مع الأكسجين in the presence of moisture في وجود الرطوبة أو بخار المية. So we can remove rust or we can prevent rust from happening by painting the ironware. ان انا بدهن او بعزل الاجسام الحديديه او اي شيء مصنوع بالحديد by painting. Yeah, or sometimes we cannot paint the motor of the car. Okay, so we can put some grease. ممكن نحط بعض الشحم in these parts because they are movable parts, اجزاء متحركه, so we can't paint it.
There's something else. I guess you know, iron is exposed to be what? Is exposed to be rusted.
Yeah.
When it is exposed to water, you know.
Okay, so we know that iron will be rust when it's exposed to water and oxygen at the same time.
Yeah.
Not water only. We have to condition.
But water makes this process faster.
Yeah, water makes this process faster because water removes the paint layer. الwater بتشيل طبقة الطلاء أو طبقة الدهان, so it makes the reaction between iron and the oxygen will be faster. Okay, so we know that oxygen combine with iron and make iron oxide. ده اللي بنسميه صدأ الحديد أو الحديد اللي بيصدي. So in the presence of water this process will be faster. هتكون أسرع شوية. Okay, so again iron rusting is a harmful process, عملية ضارة جدا, that causes damage of the iron ore and causes erosion of the iron ore. Okay, it will cause damage of the iron ore and erosion of the iron ore. Okay, so now iron ore must be isolated. Iron ore must be isolated by paints to protect them from rusting. Again, iron ore must be isolated, لازم تتعزل, must be isolated by paints بالدهانات to protect them عشان أحميها from rusting, عشان أحميها from iron rusting, as you said, Mr. Yasser. Okay? Okay, now نقطة بينا ملحوظة مهمة جدا. What happened to the mass of iron or any material about combination with oxygen? We know that about or after combination with oxygen, the mass of material increases after burning because iron combines with oxygen. Because iron combines with oxygen. So now we have a very important equation. معادلة مهمة جدا. What happened when iron combine with oxygen or when iron react with oxygen? We know that iron combine with oxygen, it gives iron oxide. Okay? But what happened when aluminum react with oxygen? It gives aluminum oxide. Okay, Mr. ياسر؟ عشان نفهم الايكويشن دي كويس قوي، يبقى أي شيء بيعمل رياكشن مع الأكسجين بيديني الشيء نفسه oxide. So if I say that aluminum plus oxygen, it will be aluminum oxide. If I say that copper plus oxygen,
copper
oxide. If I say that Yasser plus oxygen, Yasser oxide. Okay?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's okay. There's also nether oxide.
Nether plus oxygen, it will give nether oxide. So any material that reacts with oxygen give the material oxide. Material oxide, which means rust, صدأ الحديد أو صدأ أي material. Okay? Carbon plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide or carbon oxide.
Yeah.
Okay?
Just like in football, they say the ball is oxide.
No, the ball is offside, not oxide. Okay, so in football we say the ball is offside, not oxide. Oxide means the reaction or the result with oxygen gas. Oxide means التفاعل أو الناتج اللي حصل من تفاعل مع الأكسجين gas. So now let's have a new topic or a new point in our lesson today about the importance and uses of oxygen gas. The importance and uses of oxygen gas. أهمية أو استخدامات غاز الأكسجين. Number one, respiration. I think it's the most important process occurred by oxygen gas. I think respiration is a very great and important process that happened by the help of oxygen gas.
When we talk about respiration, we mean inhaling
air, and taking oxygen gas only and removing all the other gases with carbon dioxide gas that resulted from burning.
Inhale and exhale.
Inhale and exhale. Inhalation, الشهيق, exhalation, الزفير. Okay, as we have studied in primary 4, we have studied the respiratory system in details and have studied also what's meant by respiration, what's meant by inhalation, and also what's meant by exhalation processes. أو عملية الشهيق أو عملية الزفير. So the first important use of oxygen gas is that respiration. Another importance of oxygen gas, I think, food combustion. Food combustion أو احتراق الغذاء to produce energy. Food combustion احتراق الغذاء to produce energy. That's what's meant by respiration. هذا معناه التنفس برضو. أنا ليه بتنفس? To get oxygen gas to burn the food inside my body to have energy. يبقى بتنفس عشان اخد oxygen gas عشان احرق الفود اللي جوايا عشان يديني energy. So food combustion or food burning occurs by the help of oxygen gas. بيحصل بمساعدة غاز الأكسجين. Another property of oxygen gas, water we drink consists of oxygen and hydrogen. As we know that water has a symbol in chemistry. نكتب مع بعض ليها رمز كيميائي H2O. نكتب مع بعض the symbol of water in chemistry is that H2O. وإن لسه ما درسناش السيمبل كويس أوي بس أكيد كتير مننا عارفين إن the symbol of water is H2O. So water contains two gases which are hydrogen and oxygen gas, but in the form of compound. Okay, again water contains two elements which are hydrogen and oxygen. The symbol of water is that H2O because water consists of oxygen and hydrogen gas. Water consists of oxygen and hydrogen gas. Okay, another importance of oxygen gas is that ozone molecule consists of 3 oxygen atoms that protects us from harmful radiation from the sun. غاز الأوزون أو جزيء الأوزون بيتكون من 3 ذرات أكسجين لأنه بيحمينا من harmful radiation from the sun. نكتب مع بعض إزاي الأوزون بيحمينا من harmful radiation. We know that ozone, which is all 3.
is a layer.
ozone
and
is a layer.
It's a gaseous layer.
gas هي gas في نفس الوقت. هو يعني طبقة من الغاز. عشان كده كلمة اوزون هول ما برتاحلهاش نفسيا قوي يعني. لأن الجاس مش ممكن يحصل له ثقب أو خرم. أنا ممكن أسميها اوزون ديكي. تآكل طبقة الأوزون يعني الثيكنس erosion اوكي تآكل الأوزون أو يعني الطبقة بتقل اوكي يعني هقبل ده علميا لكن كلمة اوزون هول كلمة مش صح خالص يعني ودي بنلاقيها في كتب علمية كتير جدا يعني اوكي so again we can call that ozone which contains or which consists of 3 atoms of oxygen gas that protects us from a very harmful radiation which is ultraviolet radiation. We know that ozone O3 protect us from harmful radiation that coming out from the sun. نرسم مع بعض. This is the sun. Okay. This is the earth. Ozone makes here a very important layer in the atmosphere. This is the ozone layer that absorbs or reflects the harmful radiation which is called ultraviolet radiation. So الأشعة الفوق بنفسجية أو ultraviolet radiation comes out from the sun and ozone protects us from them by absorbing this radiation or by re-emitting them again. هو بيعملهم إرسال مرة تانية للشمس أو للفضاء الخارجي. So ozone molecule consists of 3 atoms of oxygen that protects us from harmful radiation coming out from the sun. Okay? Oxygen gas gets compressed. ممكن نعمله ضغط ونعبيه in iron cylinders to be used in many purpose. Again يبقى غاز الأكسجين ممكن نعمله compression ضغط ونعبيه في اسطوانات حيزية in iron cylinders to be used in for example mechanical ventilation for patients التنفس الصناعي للمرضى mechanical ventilation for patients surgeries الجراحات diving الغوص and at last climbing mountain تسلق الجبال. Again mechanical ventilation for patients surgeries الجراحات diving الغوص climbing mountain. So what happened if a mountain climber doesn't have an oxygen cylinder؟ طب ليه هو شخص اللي بيطلع الجبال او يتسلق الجبال بياخد oxygen cylinder؟
I guess because the higher you go up
Yeah.
The less oxygen there is.
Yeah, because oxygen is heavier than air, as we said before. انت يمكن ما صدقتهاش بسهولة. Oxygen
No,
is heavier.
because I once went up a mountain. I went up, you know, Mount Moses in Sinai. I went up Mount Moses, and the oxygen up there wasn't
is very
enough.
little.
Yeah, you feel it wasn't enough.
You feel that you can't breathe easily.
Yeah.
Okay? Because what? Because oxygen gas is heavier than air. أتقل من الهواء فبيكون أكتر في المناطق اللي تحت يعني beside the earth or at the earth's surface. Okay? So as we go up, as you said, Mr. Yasser, the little oxygen we found, or we found less oxygen as usual. So mountain climbers must have oxygen cylinders to breathe with it.
Especially if the mountains are so
very
high.
Very high or
very
so
tall.
high. Yeah, very high. Okay, so again, oxygen gets compressed in air cylinders to be used in many purposes. أهداف كتيرة جدا أو أغراض كتيرة جدا بستخدم فيها الأكسجين gas, like mechanical ventilation for patient, تنفس صناعي للمرضى, like surgeries الجراحات, like diving الغوص, and at last climbing mountain أو تسلق الجبال. Okay, so now I have a picture for mechanical ventilation for the patient. We use oxygen here in hospitals or centers to cure some patients عشان نعالج بعض المرضى which have surgeries جراحات or which have difficulty in breathing, صعوبة في التنفس. We use oxygen in hospitals to cure those people. Okay, so oxygen gets compressed in many cylinders or in iron cylinders to be used in mechanical ventilation for patients, for diving, for climbing mountain, and also for many things. Okay. Okay, and at last we have that oxygen gas gets compressed in an air cylinder and combined with a gas which is called acetylene.
It gets compressed يعني بيتضغط.
بيتضغط بالظبط كده ونعبيه في اسطوانة وهستخدمه مع اسطوانة ثانية فيها غاز اسمه أستيلين عشان يكون لهب اسمه أستيلين فيلين which is formed from oxygen and the acetylene that produces temperature of 3500 Celsius for cutting and welding metal. Okay? Imagine that, Mr. Yasser, I want to cut or weld metal. I want high temperature. I want a very high energy of heat. Okay? So I use that. I will use that نرسم مع بعض. Two cylinders, اسطوانتين. First cylinder that contains acetylene. First cylinder contains acetylene. And the second cylinder contains oxygen gas.
What are you doing now?
Yeah, I'm drawing the oxyacetylene film. نرسم مع بعض ازاي بنحصل على لهب الاوكسي Okay? Okay. لهب الاوكسي I can use two cylinders of acetylene and oxygen gas. Okay? I use two cylinders of acetylene and oxygen gas. Okay. So now I combine them, I make them combine to have one husk. What happened when acetylene burned in the presence of oxygen gas? I think, or I know that, or all of us know that oxygen gas help in burning. So it will give high temperature or a very high heat that reaches 3500 Celsius. Reaches 3500 Celsius, which is used in welding and cutting metal. So again, oxyacetylene flame أو لهب الأوكسيأستيلين لهب عالي جدا في حرارته. هو لهب متحد من غازين هما غاز الأستيلين وغاز الأكسجين that gives a very high temperature which reaches 3500 Celsius that used in cutting and welding metal. Cutting and welding metal أو لحام وقطع المعادن. Okay? So now let's start our first revision about Unit 1 about mass and weight and about Unit 2 which deals with the measuring temperature and good conductor and bad conductor. Okay? نبدأ دلوقتي نعمل revision اللي احنا درسناه من أول الترم. Okay? احنا درسنا 2 units مستر ياسر أول الترم بالظبط عشان امتحان الميد ترم أعتقد على الأبواب يعني غالبا يمكن الأسبوع الجاي أو اللي بعده بكتير.
Just around the corner.
Just around the corner. Okay, as you said. So now we have studied Unit 1 which consists of one lesson only about mass and weight. Okay? And Unit 2 which consists of 2 lessons about heat conduction يعني توصيل الحرارة which we deal with conductor and back conductor of heat, and also lesson 2 which deal with measuring temperature or the thermometer, and we have studied the 2 types of thermometer. Also we have studied the first lesson from Unit 3 which deal with oxygen gas, and we have finished or we have already finished this lesson today. Okay, so now let's start our general review about we have studied for this first term. Our first lesson says that complete the following sentences. Complete the following sentences. Okay. Yeah. Okay. About all we have studied, not مثلا with only. يعني هنا هنعمل revision عن كل درسناه. The thermometer, which is used in measuring temperature of the human body, is that you can say, Mr. Yasser, huh? Clinical thermometer or the medical one. Clinical or the medical. هنا بنسمي الترمومتر الطبي ليه اسمين. ممكن نسميه medical أو clinical thermometer. الترمومتر الطبي ليه اسمين medical or clinical thermometer. Again, the thermometer used in measuring temperature of the human body is that medical thermometer. Okay? The thermometer which is used in measuring temperature of the liquids and atmosphere is that you can say that, Mr. Yasser. I think it's easy one.
Yeah, it's easy. One is medical,
yeah,
and the other is Celsius.
Celsius thermometer, which is the name of the great scientist Andres Celsius. Okay, so the answer will be that Celsius thermometer أو الترمومتر المئوي. هنسميه مئوي لأن هو بيبدأ من 0 Celsius till reaches 100 Celsius. لكن هو اسمه thermometer Celsius. Okay. Another question. The energy that transfers from hot object to the cold object is that the energy that we have studied, the only energy we have studied that transfers from the hot object to the cold object, I think it will be that heat energy. We have studied only this semester heat energy, but in the second semester we will study electric energy. Okay, again the energy that transfers from the hot object to the cold object is that heat energy. Okay. Another question. The degree of hotness or coldness of a body. The degree of hotness or coldness of a body.
Temperature.
I think that is the temperature. So good, Mr. Yasser. Okay, excellent. You are an excellent pupil.
Thank you.
Okay, the degree of hotness or coldness of a body is that the temperature. Okay. Okay, the gas which is used in respiration. We have studied today. I think it's a fresh question. سؤال طازة يعني لسه دارسينه حالا. Yes, this is oxygen gas. The gas which is used in respiration is oxygen gas. Oxygen gas is the most important gas to all living organisms because we all respire oxygen gas. Okay? All metals are point conductors of heat. All metals like iron, good conductor. Like iron, copper, aluminum, gold, nickel, all metals. Without exception. Even mercury are good conductor of heat. Mercury is from metals. We have studied the classification of elements into two types, which are metal and non-metal.
By the way, do you like heavy metal music?
No, I don't like metal music.
Okay.
I like slow music.
Okay.
Okay, so again, all metals are good conductor of heat, like iron, copper, aluminum, gold, nickel, and so on. So again, all metals are good conductor of heat. So what about non-metal, Mr. Yasser? Non-metals are what?
What about what?
Non-metals. Yeah, like oxygen, hydrogen.
No, they are bad conductors.
They are bad conductors. So
and some of them are insulators.
Yeah, some of them are, but we don't see insulator in heat, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Insulator only for electricity. But bad conductor. مؤثر رديء. يعني ممكن يسخن لكن مش بدرجة الميتالز أو درجة.
So this material covering let us say
the electric wire. That's about electricity. You said about it. Today we'll talk about heat. Heat conduction, not electricity.
This is electricity.
Yeah. Okay. So again, all metals are good conductor of heat and good conductor of electricity, as you said, Mr. Yes. We will study them in details. هندسة بالتفصيل إن شاء الله second semester, okay, or next semester. الترم اللي جاي. Okay. Okay. Again, all metals, as we know, are good conductor of heat, and non-metal are bad conductor of heat. Okay. Point conducts heat faster than aluminum. Point is the metal that conducts heat faster than aluminum. I think it will be, Mr. Yasser, the metal
copper.
Copper. Copper is the metal that conducts heat faster than aluminum because copper is the best conducting metal. Copper is the best conducting metal. Again, copper conducts heat faster than aluminum because copper is the best conducting metal.
Perhaps that's why in the past they used it. They used copper to make
cooking pots.
Cooking pots. Yeah, because
but it was heavy.
Yeah.
Was so heavy to carry. Okay, so when aluminum was invented or aluminum was discovered, we use aluminum instead of copper. We don't use copper at all now, but we use aluminum or stainless steel in making cooking pots. As you said, yeah, that's right. Copper was used in making cooking pots in all days because copper is good conductor of heat, and copper is the best metal. هو أحسن معدن in conducting heat في توصيل الحرارة. So again, another question. Some examples of good conductors of heat. Okay, Mr. Yasser, you can answer this question. Some examples of
good conductors of heat. So we just said metals.
Yeah.
We could also say
we could say examples of metals such as iron, copper, aluminum, gold, silver, nickel. All metals you have studied are good conductor of heat.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question. Some usages of good conductors of heat. Some uses. هنا أنا مش عايز
Uses
examples.
or usages?
Yeah, usages or usages.
Yeah.
Okay. Of good conductor of heat are, I think, cooking pots, and tea boiler. We can use copper at all days. Today we use stainless steel, we use aluminum in making cooking pots and tea boilers. Okay. Another example or another question. Some examples of bad conductors of heat. Not here, bad conductor of heat. Okay. Yeah, bad conductor. You can say, Mr. Yasser, that's your question. Your turn.
Glass.
Glass. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Wood. Wood, plastic. Okay, glass, wood, plastic, air, wool, paper. We have many examples of bad conductors of heat. Okay.
What about water?
Water is a bad conductor also.
Water is a bad conductor.
All liquids are bad conductors except mercury.
Yeah. Just one question. Is it also a bad conductor of electricity?
If it is pure, لو هي pure تماما, it will be bad conductor of electricity.
What do you mean by pure?
Pure doesn't contain salts. But
so
sure,
this is impossible.
Yeah, sure, water. Even if mineral water, حتى المياه المعدنية contains minerals. هي اسمها كده مياه معدنية. يعني فيها minerals, فيها أملاح معدنية. So it will conduct electricity. يبقى امتى المياه ما توصلش كهرباء؟
That is why some people, during the bad weather in Alexandria, they got
died.
They got electric shocks and died.
Because water that falls with the rain contains many salts and mix with the ground or the dust of the ground, and the dust contains many salts. So the salt here that conducts electricity, not the water. اللي وصل الكهرباء هنا مش المية، هو الأملاح الموجودة في المية. Okay, so we can say that water is a bad conductor of electricity. بعدين ده مش موضوعنا النهارده خالص.
Yeah, but I just it's going to be studied, later on.
Water, we can say that water is a bad conductor of electricity even if it doesn't contain salts. لكن انت اقول water bad conductor لما تكون very very pure معناها doesn't contain salt. لما اعمل لها عمليه اسمها distillation، عمليه تقطير للميه. Distilled water means water without salt, without any salt. So it's a bad conductor of electricity. Okay. But sure, water at most cases or at the all cases of it is a bad conductor of heat. يعني النهارده بنتكلم على الحراره. الwater هي already bad conductor of heat even if it contains salt or doesn't contain salt. Okay. So again, we can see that some examples of bad conductors of heat such as wood, plastic, water, all liquids except mercury. أي liquid إلا الميركوري bad conductor of heat. Also glass, wood, wool, paper, air, and so on. So another question says that some usages of bad conductors of heat. إيه هو استخدام bad conductor of heat? I think it will be that handles of cooking pots and heavy cloths. Handles of cooking pots and heavy cloths. Okay. Another question. Mass is measured by what, whereas weight is measured by what? Measured by هنا أنا عايز الجهاز، لكن لو قلت measured in يبقى عايز اليونت. Again, measured by عايز الجهاز، لكن measured in عايز اليونت. Measured by, we have many examples of balances that are used in measuring mass. أجهزة كتير جدا بنسميها الموازين. Like the balance scale. Whereas weight is measured by a spring scale. Spring scale أو ميزان اللي بيقيس بيه الويت أو الوزن، أو بنسميه الميزان الزومبوركي. Okay. Again, mass is measured by balance scale, whereas weight is measured by a spring scale. Weight is measured by spring scale. Okay. Mass is not affected, or mass is constant, and it's not affected by what? I think by place, by changing the place, and also we have said that mass is constant value. الماس قيمة ثابتة and it doesn't change by changing the place. Again, mass is constant and is not affected by place. Another question. An object's weight depends on what? An object weight depends on its mass and place. وزن الجسم يعتمد على الكتلة والمكان الموجود في الجسم. Like that, the weight changes from traveling from the Earth to the Moon, and from traveling from the Moon to Jupiter, and so on, as we have studied before in the lesson about mass and weight. Object weight depends on its mass and place. Its mass and place. Oxygen gas is consumed during point and point processes. غاز الأكسجين بيستهلك في عمليات زي إيه وإيه like respiration, you know that, like respiration, and burning or combustion processes. Again, oxygen gas is consumed during respiration and burning processes. Okay, oxygen gas is consumed during respiration and burning processes. Okay, write scientific term. Write scientific term. This question is very important to know that the first word or the first two words are the secret word. يبقى عشان افهم ازاي احل سؤال في scientific term لازم اعرف كويس قوي ان اول كلمه او اول كلمتين هم مفتاح الحل في السؤال ده. The key word. Okay, like that, the layer of the atmosphere that protects the earth from the harmful radiation coming out from the sun.
The ozone layer.
You cheated me. It's an answered question. Okay. Okay. The layer of the atmosphere again, الطبقة الموجودة في الهواء أو في الغلاف الجوي that protects the earth اللي بتحمي الأرض
Ozone layer.
from harmful radiation coming out from the sun. It's ozone layer, and we know that ozone gas consists of 3 atoms of oxygen gas. Ozone gas consists of 3 atoms of oxygen gas. Ozone has a symbol of O3. Another question. A chemical substance that increases the speed of the chemical reaction. That's your turn, Mr. Yasser.
Yeah, I know it.
It's
a catalyst.
Catalyst, yeah, catalyst أو العامل المساعد أو العامل الحفاز. It's the chemical substance that increases the speed of the reaction. Okay, it's the chemical substance.
And if it decreases it, it's a dogalist.
dogalist, no. We have catalyst. If it decreases it will be negative catalyst. انت اشرت نقطة مهمة جدا. ان شاء الله في بريب 3 ثالثة اعدادي هندرس كويس قوي موضوع كبير عن الكاتاليست، واعرف ان هو نوعين. في نوع بيزود الرياكشن هنسميه بوزيتيف كاتاليست، ونوع بيقلل الرياكشن هنسميه نيجاتيف كاتاليست. Okay, so here the answer will be that catalyst, but you are joking as usual, Mr. Yasser. You said catalyst and not dogalist.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cat and dog يعني. Okay. Okay, again, a chemical substance that increases the speed of the reaction, it will be catalyst. Okay. Another question. Rapid combination of the element with oxygen. Rapid combination of the element with oxygen. We have studied today. That's a fresh question.
Oxidation.
Yeah. No. Rapid means rapid combination. اتحاد سريع will be burning or combustion.
Yeah.
We have two ways to combine with oxygen. اتحاد سريع هيكون burning أو combustion. اتحاد بطيء هو اللي هنسميه oxidation.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, rapid combination of the element with oxygen, it will be burning or combustion. Burning or combustion. Another question. That's your answer question, Mr. Yasser, okay? Slow combination of the elements with oxygen, اتحاد بطيء للعنصر مع الأكسجين, it will be oxidation. Again,
عارف من ضمن معاني كلمة elements اللي هي الطبيعة. nature.
nature طبيعة.
عشان كده لما كنت بتقول لي الحديد مثلا بقول لك ممكن انت you do not expose it to the elements. ما تعرضوش ل
لا بس
عناصر الطبيعة او الطبيعية.
scientifically هنا اقصد
لا طبعا هنا على
يعني
السياق هنا
السياق
هنا معناه عنصر.
element يعني عنصر like iron, like copper, like aluminum, like oxygen, like hydrogen. Element in chemistry عنصر كيميائي. Okay. Okay, again, slow combination of the element with oxygen, it will be oxidation. It will be oxidation. Okay, the process that the plant carry out to make its own food. The process that the plant carry out to make its own food. I think it's a very easy question.
Yeah, photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis process. It's a process that the plant carry out or the plant make to make its own food. عملية بيعملها النبات عشان يقوم بيها بصناعة غذائه هنسميها photosynthesis. اوكي.
صعبة الكلمة دي photosynthesis. طويلة
عشان
شوية.
كده بننطقها باختصار photosynthesis. Okay. Photosynthesis. Okay. Again, the process that the plant carry out to make its own food, photosynthesis. Okay. Another question. The amount of matter in an object. The amount of matter in an object, I think it will be mass, as we have studied before. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. Another question. The force with which a body is attracted to the earth, or the gravitational force that the body is attracted by it to the earth. I think it will be
Earth gravity.
or it will be weight. ممكن نقول earth
Weight,
gravity
yeah.
بالظبط كده الجاذبية أو جاذبية الأرض أو هي الوزن.
Or weight.
Okay, or weight. So the force with which a body is attracted to the earth, it will be weight. Okay. Another question. The measurement unit of mass, which is almost equal to a mass liter of water. The measurement unit of mass, which is almost equal to a mass liter of water. I think it will be kilogram. Kilogram is a measurement unit of mass, which is almost equal to a mass liter of water. كتلة كمية من المية بتساوي لتر أو كتلة لتر من المية تحديدا هنسميها كيلوغرام. Okay. Another question. The measurement unit of weight. The measurement unit of weight, which is almost equal to a mass of 100 gram. I think we have studied one only measuring unit for weight, which is Newton. Again, measurement unit of weight, which is almost equal to a mass of 100 gram, it will be Newton. It will be Newton. Okay. Another question. This question deals with the problem of mass and weight, and also we have studied we have two laws. عندنا قانونين نحل بيهم مسائل الماس والويت. An object whose mass on earth equals 6 kilogram. Calculate its weight on both surfaces of the earth and on the moon. Okay, Mr. Yasser? Let me answer this problem in details with writing. نكتب مع بعض ازاي نحل المسألة ديت. Okay, so we have two laws to solve the problem about mass and weight. عندنا قانونين مهمين جدا عشان نحل مسائل الماس and weight. The first law deals with weight on the earth, mass by 10. Weight on the earth equal mass by 10. But if I need the mass, it will be weight on the earth divide 10. Second law deals with weight on the earth, and weight on the moon. Weight on the earth and weight on the moon. If I want weight on the moon, I will divide weight on the earth by 6. Okay? So now in this question I have only one information. عندي معلومة واحدة بس. ايه هي؟ هو قال لي ان mass on the body on the earth equal 6 kilogram. نكتب مع بعض mass equal 6 kilogram. Okay? So now I want what? I want weight on the surface of the earth and weight on the surface of the moon. Okay. So now I want weight on the surface of the earth. I will use the first law. Why ليه هستخدم القانون دوت تحديدا؟ Because I have mass and I want weight on the earth. يبقى كأني هستخدم اللو المناسب للمسألة أو المناسب للديماندز المطلوب فيها أو الجيفن الموجودة فيها. I have mass here. عندي mass وعايز weight on the earth. So weight on the earth equal what? Equal mass by 10. So it will be 6 kilogram by 10. It will be 60 newton. ناخد بالنا كويس قوي لما أحل أي weight أي مسألة فيها weight it will be newton not kilogram. So what about the weight on the moon? Weight on the moon will be that هستخدم القانون التاني equal weight on the earth divide 6. So it will be 60 divide 6. It will be that 10. 10 what? 10 newton again because here I have weight. يبقى ناخد بالنا كويس قوي ان الويت تحديدا سواء كان on the earth او on the moon it will be with newton. هيكون بالنيوتن. So here weight on the moon equal weight on the earth divide 6. 60 divide 6 equal 10 newton. Okay? So now we have answered the problem about mass and weight by studying the two laws. درست قانونين مهمين جدا to deal with the mass and weight problem. Deal with the mass and weight problem. نرجع مع بعض تاني للquestions أو revision اللي بنتكلم عنها النهارده. We have studied one lesson about mass and weight, two lessons about heat and temperature, and one lesson only about oxygen gas. Okay, so the answer will be that weight on the earth equal 6 by 10 equals 6 نيوتن. ناخد بالنا تاني كويس قوي لما بتكلم عن الويت بستخدم نيوتن not kilogram. Okay, weight on the moon equal that 60 divide 6 equal 10 نيوتن. Again الويت لازم اخد له unit نيوتن. Okay, So now complete the following sentences. Complete the following sentences. First question says that point gas is used with acetylene for welding metal. Point gas, I think this gas is the gas that increase burning. ايه هو الغاز اللي بيزود البيرنينج؟ oxygen gas. عشان يستخدم مع الاسيتيلين للحام المعادن. I think it will be oxygen gas. Oxygen gas is used with acetylene for welding metals.
يعني طرق المعادن زي ما بيقولوها كده.
أو لحام المعادن يعني. Okay. لحام المعادن. Welding metal لحام المعادن. Another question says that an instrument or a device used to measure the temperature generally. هنا قال temperature وسكت ما قاليش temperature of the human being or of liquids and so on. Temperature, so I will say thermometer. هقول thermometer in general. Again, the instrument used for measuring the temperature, it will be the thermometer. It will be the thermometer. Another question, justify or give reason. كلمة justify هي نفس meaning of give reason أو قول السبب. برر أو علل بالظبط كده أو faster. Although oxygen gas is consumed during respiration, its percentage remains stable in the atmosphere. Again, although بالرغم من oxygen gas is consumed during respiration, إن غاز الأكسجين بيستهلك في التنفس, its percentage لكن نسبته remains stable in the atmosphere. تبقى ثابتة في الغلاف الجوي. ليه ما بيخلصش يعني؟ ليه الأكسجين ما بيخلص؟ Okay? So the answer will be that because plants produce oxygen during photosynthesis process. Because plants produce oxygen during photosynthesis process or photosynthesis process. As you said, Mr. Yasser, in details. The good pronunciation of this process is photosynthesis. Okay?
Yeah.
مش photosynthesis. Okay. So again, because the green plant are the main source, or the green plants are the main source, or the green plants produce oxygen gas during photosynthesis process. Okay, another question of give reason. Oxygen is created or collected يعني بنجمع الأكسجين
by displacing the water
by displacing the water downward in the flask of preparation at the laboratory. Okay, why? Because oxygen, I think that because oxygen scarcely dissolves in water. Because oxygen scarcely dissolves in water أو نادرا ما بيدوب في المية أو مش بيحب المية عشان كده ما بيتفاعلش معاها أو ما بيتحدش معاها بسهولة. Okay.
Yeah, they don't mix.
Don't mix. We said that
right.
Oxygen and water don't mix.
We've come to the end of this episode. So I'd like to thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Rieta. Thank you.
Nassim, for all these efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rieta. Thank you.
So that brings us to the end of this episode, dear students of the 6th elementary grade. On this episode, we've ended lesson 1 of unit 3, and we've also reviewed everything we've had. We had a general review on everything we've studied, and we'll be carrying on with our lessons and reviews on our next episode. We'll be seeing you again, inshallah, next Thursday. So until then, we wish you all the best. Goodbye.